Horror story, nightmare of paralysis and the haunting whispers. As a kid, I spent countless nights at my cousin's place, indulging in endless playtime until darkness fell upon us. Our parents didn't mind, so I gladly stayed over, relishing the joyous freedom. Little did I know that those innocent nights would become the breeding ground for the terrors that awaited me. The first encounter with sleep paralysis came crashing into my life like a relentless storm. It happened at my cousin's house, where I innocently dozed off on the living room couch. The clock struck midnight, and suddenly I jolted awake, only to find my body imprisoned in an icy grip, unable to move or even scream. The eerie silence was pierced by the haunting sound of my aunt's voice reverberating through the room, though she was nowhere to be seen. Panic swelled within me as I fought desperately to break free, to make a single sound, but my voice was trapped, and my limbs rendered useless. Time lost all meaning in that suffocating darkness, and when release finally came, I plunged back into a restless slumber, haunted by the echoes of that otherworldly encounter. That bone-chilling experience shook me to my core, instilling a fear that held me captive, robbing me of the innocence I once possessed. Yet fate had more horrors in store. The second bout of paralysis struck within the confines of my own home. Exhausted from the strains of everyday life, I succumbed to weariness, nodding off while awaiting the comforting embrace of my parents' home-cooked meal. The hour grew late, and suddenly my eyes snapped open, greeted by a sinister stillness that engulfed me. I was once again a prisoner in my own flesh, my voice silenced, my body paralyzed. The sounds of bustling kitchen activity echoed around me, yet my presence was reduced to a helpless spectator. Perhaps familiarity with this spectral torment dulled my panic, for in that frozen moment, I chose to close my eyes, as if denying the ethereal entities the satisfaction of my terror. It was then, in the realm between sleep and wakefulness, that I encountered a presence, an apparition, a long-haired woman cloaked in ethereal white, reminiscent of my late mother, stood by the kitchen sink, amidst hanging towels. The resemblance was uncanny, yet I couldn't fathom how such a specter could manifest before me. Dread coiled around my heart as I sensed her approaching, drawing nearer with each labored step. In desperation, I sealed my eyes shut, a torrent of profanities raging within my mind. And so, we remained locked in that ghastly standoff until the veil of consciousness slipped away, consumed by the abyss of fear or the merciful embrace of sleep. The following night, I sought solace in a friend's company, divulging the unearthly horrors that plagued me. They offered kind words and the solace of spirits, yet as I returned home, trepidation clung to my every step. An undeniable sense of impending doom clung to the air, a cruel omen of things to come. Seated on the precipice of my bed, the hour well past midnight, I grappled with a nameless fear that clawed at my sanity. A cocktail of exhaustion and apprehension coursed through my veins, warping my senses. I was acutely aware of the encroaching darkness, silently lurking in the corners of my room. I can't recall if I switched off the lights, but as I opened my eyes, terror clutched my soul once more. Paralyzed yet again, I found myself staring into the abyss of my own room, shrouded in an oppressive darkness that seemed to swallow all hope. And there, at the foot of my bed, I glimpsed the spectral silhouette of a young boy. His presence was undeniable, his form an inky blackness that seeped into my very being. His head hung low, obscuring his face, as if concealing some unfathomable horror. I fought back the tears, desperately pleading for release from this spectral grip. Miraculously, he remained motionless, preserving the boundary between life and death. Time lost all meaning as I teetered on the precipice of sanity, unsure if the minutes passed like fleeting seconds or stretched into eternities. Eventually, the invisible shackles relented, releasing me from their icy grip. But the memory of that macabre encounter etched itself upon my soul, branding me with an indelible mark. The twisted tapestry of my haunted existence continued to unravel, weaving more sinister threads into the fabric of my reality. Late one night, as the hour hand inched closer to midnight, a cacophony of juvenile laughter erupted from the upper reaches of my abode. The sound was unmistakable. Giggles and footfalls echoed through the air, persisting with an unsettling tenacity. At first, I dismissed it as an innocent prank, the product of restless children seeking amusement in the witching hour. But as the minutes bled into hours, the relentless torrent of sound gnawed at my sanity, stripping away the veneer of rationality. Determined to put an end to this ghostly symphony, I mustered my courage and ventured into the darkness. The staircase, devoid of light, offered no comfort or refuge. With each step, the darkness grew denser, my heart pounding in anticipation. Knocking on the door, I implored the woman within to silence her rambunctious children, their playfulness invading my solitude. A voice, filled with trepidation and uncertainty, drifted from behind the door, denying the existence of any child within. A shiver snaked down my spine. My mind plunged into the abyss of disbelief. I stumbled back down the stairs, haunted by the echoes of those phantom footfalls, the laughter now a haunting melody etched deep within my psyche. In the wake of these inexplicable events, my uncle reclaimed the house, forcing me to endure its sinister presence for a year. The weight of my fear grew unbearable, the shadows that danced upon the walls seemed to whisper secrets of unseen horrors. Yet fate smiled upon me, granting me a means of escape. With newfound savings, I secured a modest apartment, eager to sever the ties that bound me to that malevolent dwelling. Little did I know that my escape would be but a gateway to new terrors, as the studio apartment became a breeding ground for otherworldly forces. But those chilling tales shall remain untold for another time, where the words of horror can dance upon your senses once more. Horror Story: The Haunting of Hollow Creek. Gather round, my friends, as I weave a chilling tale that will send shivers down your spine. This story takes place in the heartland of America, in a small forgotten town known as Hollow Creek. Far away from the hustle and bustle of the city, this sleepy town held a dark secret buried deep within its history. It was a moonlit night, eerily quiet as the town settled into a peaceful slumber. But in a house on the outskirts of town, an unsuspecting family was about to experience a night they would never forget. The Johnsons, a typical American family, had recently moved into the old Victorian house that stood tall and imposing. Little did they know the darkness that lurked within its walls. As the clock struck midnight, strange sounds began to echo through the house. Whispers danced on the wind, brushing against the Johnsons' ears, as if beckoning them into the depths of the unknown. Mrs. Johnson, a skeptical woman with a rational mind, dismissed the sounds as mere creaks of an old house. But Mr. Johnson, a man open to the supernatural, sensed a malevolent presence lingering in the air. The night grew colder, and shadows seemed to writhe and twist in the corners of every room. The children, wide-eyed with fear, huddled together under their blankets, their hearts pounding in sync with the haunting whispers that filled the house. A bone-chilling breeze swept through the hallway, rattling the doors and windows, as if unseen hands sought entry. In the darkness, the family's pet dog, Max, growled at an invisible force, his hackles raised. The air became heavy with an otherworldly energy, and the family's skepticism began to crumble. Desperate for answers, they turned to the town's elderly librarian, known for her knowledge of local lore and hidden secrets. Ms. Adelaide, the enigmatic librarian, revealed the dark history of Hollow Creek. Long ago, a notorious gangster named Samuel "Scarface" Malone ruled the town with an iron fist. Legend had it that he had hidden a vast fortune within the walls of the very house the Johnsons now called home. But Scarface Malone's greed had cursed the house, trapping his tormented spirit within its confines. Armed with this knowledge, the Johnsons delved into the twisted history of their new abode. They uncovered old newspaper clippings and unearthed secrets that the town had long forgotten. Determined to free themselves from the malevolent grip of Scarface Malone, they embarked on a perilous journey to break the curse. Using clues from the past, they followed the trail of forgotten currency that Scarface had left behind. Each step brought them closer to the heart of the haunting, deeper into the web of terror that had plagued Hollow Creek for decades. They confronted restless spirits and encountered harrowing visions that threatened to consume their sanity. Finally, in a hidden chamber beneath the house, they discovered the source of Scarface's power, a hidden stash of blood-soaked bills, remnants of a violent era. The family, trembling with trepidation, set the cursed currency ablaze, releasing the trapped souls and breaking the shackles that bound Scarface Malone to the mortal realm. As the flames consumed the tainted money, the house trembled and groaned, as if sighing in relief. The darkness lifted, and the Johnsons felt a newfound peace settle upon their home. Scarface Malone's reign of terror had come to an end, and Hollow Creek could finally rest. But the Johnsons would forever carry the memories of that haunting night, a testament to the inexplicable terrors that lay hidden within the most ordinary places. And as for Hollow Creek, it would forever be known as a town touched by the supernatural, where whispers of its haunted past lingered in the minds of its residents, waiting to be shared on another moonlit night. So beware, dear friends, for in every town there lies a tale that will make your blood run cold. And who knows what secrets your own home may hold, lurking just beyond the veil of your perception, ready to reveal themselves when the darkness falls.